we have news from PulseChain, which is getting closer and closer to launch. This is going to be important. Why? Number one, I have sacrificed. So that's why, to me, this is a personal news update that I'm keeping an eye on. Let me know if you've sacrificed for PulseChain. But number two, like, the community is crazy. The reason why I am updating on PulseChain, and why personally I'm excited, is not necessarily because of the tech, because tech-wise, it's gonna be like fast ETH, which we have many of. Like, we have Arbitrum, we have Optimism, we have this and that. Like, it's a million of them. But the community is on the other level, guys. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's crazy. It's crazy. So when you look at the different blockchains, whether it's Ethereum, Optimism, Binance Chain, what is the difference? There's no difference. It's EVM, smart contracts. It's exactly like everything else. The only thing that is different is the community. That's where you actually can have an advantage. And whenever you look at a blockchain like Polygon, let's say, people are not really loyal to Polygon. Like, no one really cares about Polygon in the same way that people on Pulse care about Pulse. And what I mean by that is that, let's say you're an application on Polygon. I mean, you could move to Arbitrum. It's a few lines of code, redeploy all contracts, bridge the assets. It's very easy to do, actually. So in the space of EVMs, where everything is so easy, everyone can just switch. There's no loyalty, because, I mean, why would you have loyalty? It's the same tech. Everything is the same. You need to have something like a community, where you only get the crazy community on Pulse. You only get the crazy hex holders on Pulse. That's something that is unique from a fundamental perspective, not even tech perspective. From a fundamental perspective, that's very unique. So we're gonna see how it will play out, but that's why personally I'm very excited. But basically, the good thing that Richard is doing now is that he's updating on what's happening, and he's really sharing all the struggles, all the problems, and right now they're syncing the node, which is very difficult, by the way. I know it firsthand because we do it at Moralis all the time, like syncing nodes, keeping them in sync. Man, it's insane. It's insane. And the worst thing is that you cannot make it go faster in many cases, because the way nodes are made is that it needs to go it's very sequential, because the blockchain is sequential. So for you to validate everything, you need to go step by step by step by step by step. So it doesn't matter if you can have like 5 billion machines doing it. You can only do it one step at a time. So that is really not great when you need to sync without a milestone. So milestone is when you don't have to sync, you just download a state of the blockchain and you just continue from that block. But if you have to sync from scratch and validate everything, then there's no way to speed it up. That's horrible. And that's especially with Geth. Aragon, I'm not sure. Maybe Aragon is a bit faster. Maybe they've made it a bit smarter. I don't have experience as much with Aragon. But with Geth, for example, it's crazy. But it's coming to an end. It seems that they're just waiting for the sync. And the code is ready. And it's going to be very interesting to see how, how this ecosystem will evolve. Because I want to also see how Richard will treat the projects on PulseChain, because he wants Hex to pump, and the people will be launching all kinds of coins on Pulse. I can tell you that it's gonna be a lot of projects, and it's gonna take buy pressure from Hex. So the question is, will it be cannibalizing Hex? But what is the point of making a programmable blockchain if you don't want people to launch projects and to launch coins? So that's my biggest question. Let's see how it evolves. I will be updating you, and yeah, I hope my Pulse bag, which I sacrificed, will do well in the coming bull market. At least with the current state of the community. I mean, the big thing I still don't understand is how will the price of Pulse be in comparison to the sacrifice price, because I have no clue about that. We will see when the thing launches, if we're gonna launch above it or below it. I guess that's a big question, because a lot of people sacrificed, so I guess that it inflates the supply of Hex of Pulse. So a lot of sacrifices is actually not good, I guess, if you have sacrifice, because it's being shared. But anyway, we'll see it. We'll see how it develops. Pulse Maxi. No, not at all. I'm not a Pulse Maxi. But when I'm looking at what's happening in the space, what is gonna be launching? Like, there is nothing super big, except for Radix launching their mainnet with smart contracts and all of that. I mean, that's super big this year. Then we have PulseChain launching. We have Base, Coinbase, but we don't know if it's gonna be a KYC chain. So I'm a bit like lukewarm towards Base. We'll see what happens.